Welcome back to the Simply Winning Podcast. I just blew out Riley's eardrums, I think. We are in season 2, and we are in episode 21.
We're back like America, baby.
Right? 21?
Yo.
21?
I think so.
Speaking of 20s,
21?
This guy just turned 29 today.
No.
28.
Almost. You got
28. I've been saying a year later just to mess with him all day.
28.
He's 28 and celebrating his birthday with a very special guest today.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
The best guest you could ever want. We got our newest guy, Tyler, the creator. No, Tyler, introduce yourself.
My twin. Yeah, so I'm Tyler, the creator. I'm a famous rapper. I don't know where I'm from. I'm kidding. So I'm Tyler. My last name's Wright. From outside of Nashville, Clarksville, Tennessee, little town about 40 minutes outside of here. And not many people who can say that they're from Tennessee living in Nashville as a native, kind of like a Nashvilleian.
It's true.
Actually, put that in your bio. Like we have like kind of funny names for everyone. I put videographer and can actually say he's from Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like if you live in Tennessee or Nashville, it's like a thing of like, oh, I can actually say I'm from here.
You don't meet many people who are from here.
You really don't, actually. I always assume first thing is like, oh, where are you from? Because I know you're not from here. And you'll run into every once in a while somebody from Nashville, but it's not normal.
Yeah. And then also, I just love, sports and hanging with the guys. And I'm a freshly married man, so hanging with my wife as well and spending time with her. And other than that, that's...
And you're 28 as well.
I am. I'm part of the old man club. So, about 4 years ago, I thought I'd never reach 30. It felt so far away. And then now I'm 2 years out from 30 and part of the, hey.
Actually, I'm excited. People are always like, oh, you're getting old. I think being like a little bit older is actually way more fun.
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself that.
Let me tell you.
This guy's old too.
30 is going to be the new 20 in about 2 years, let me tell you.
Oh, for sure.
So
it feels great.
Yeah. I was talking to Alan today. Shout out to Alan, Barber Culture Nash. He was like, I was asking about how 30s are. He's 32. He's like, bro, it feels just like your 20s, but you just have money and you're a little bit smarter. I was like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So
yes, Tyler Wright, he is our newest full-time creator here at Brotherdale. He's been here for a couple months now. He's doing a fantastic job. Like you mentioned, he lives here in Nashville. He's just recently married, which is awesome to see. And he's doing a phenomenal job. He's into fitness like the rest of us.
Yeah.
We actually in the church,
which is wild because Tyler, our other partner, you guys all know Tyler, he actually found his application. So when we wanted to bring on more creative on our team, essentially. So we brought on a few more creatives and it went through like the full interview process, like a legit company would do, which is weird for a creative agency to do because we've done a little bit of that in the past, but now we're to a size where we had to start doing that stuff. And Tyler had an Indeed application, which is crazy. So there's like a whole resume, the whole thing, and he got through round 1, which is good because we weren't on there. So it was all Tyler, and then got to round 2, and I think I hopped in on round 3. No, actually, I never saw you.
No, I never met you in the round 3 interview process.
I saw all of your stuff.
Yeah.
But then I never actually met you until the first day you came in.
Yeah.
And no, it was like kind of crazy because you like fit the culture of Brotherdale like perfectly. And you
were actually like, I don't need to meet him because I don't really want him. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, true.
I'm kidding.
Hopefully I've grown on you since then.
I'm totally kidding.
No, the only thing that I care about, and it's kind of funny, and this is like something to like people that have like the resumes and the degree and all that stuff. I just want to see your work. Yeah. That's about it. And then if you're a good person, if you can, have the right culture and then work hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the only things that matter because you can always get better at stuff.
Which he has proven to check
100%.
all those boxes, which has been great.
Yeah, he's been grinding, bro.
I came in, felt like I knew some things. And now since joining the fam, feel like I know more things. I'm continuing to learn every single day. So, I mean, it's been a blast. I've loved it.
He's been hopping into After Effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great to see. I think he continues to be like, how can I get better? Asking questions, having you come down or Dylan or like just how can I do these edits or how can we get better here? And that's what we all try to do.
What do you think? Because this will be an interesting perspective because you're obviously a little bit newer, but also like the studio was different before you got there. We redid all this stuff. How do you like the desk setup and be able to like be close to people that are creating different things?
I mean, I feel like
better feedback. I feel like faster.
Yeah, I feel like it's super easy to just grab someone and or if they're busy, you make sure that hey, when you get a second, hey, can you come take a look at this? Or, hey, can you help, review this, see what you think? I like that setup. I've from previous job that I worked, it was kind of the similar setup in a sense that, you don't have to go find someone to get any kind of information or help that you might need. And with how the studio is set up now, I love that I'm able to, turn around and, either get Perry, get Dylan, or, just holler at one of y'all if y'all are not busy upstairs. And then also, I feel much closer to everyone, in a sense of not just work, but if we had a break in the daily workflow that we just wanted to chat for a quick second or whatever, have that availability as well. So I love it.
I got a lot of questions. This is kind of cool because this is actually the first time. I'm trying to think, make sure it's the first time. We had Cross, but I knew Cross for a while before he came on the podcast. But this is the first time having a person that we didn't really know for a while before, and then wasn't like involved in Brotherdale, but you kind of saw it from the outside a little bit, but then also like coming in. So I got a lot of questions. But before the questions, let's go back to how did you? You're 28, so you've obviously lived some life.
Yep.
You had other jobs, all this stuff. How did you get into the creative stuff, and like what were you doing before that?
Yeah.
So
I didn't pick up the camera or even really start creative work until, a few years back. I at this point, you kind of lose the track of time of how long you've been doing it, at least in my opinion. So I like to say just around 4 or 5 years ago is when I really dove into it. But before that, I always loved just taking pictures. Photography is what really did it for me on my phone. I know growing up, I had a little disposable camera at times that I would just take pictures on, and it was just the things that I would take pictures of was just unique angles that no one ever else really did. And I'd show family and stuff, and my eye was different than what they would have thought. And so I just really kind of grew into that, taking pictures, loved just photography as a whole. And then at the time I was working as a account manager for I believe it was AT&T. I was doing door-to-door sales, which is terrible.
So is that what you were doing? So when you applied to Brotherdale, were you freelance full-time, or were you having another job at the same time, or did you quit the job and like go for trying to find a job?
So the AT&T thing was back during like COVID 2020.
Okay.
So at the time I had not started freelance work yet, but it wasn't much longer after that until I started picking it up. So as soon as I left that, I got into freelance work, full-time / part-time, and then I picked up another job from a tile factory in Clarksville, and was working with them, and was also doing freelance work on the side. I was shooting weddings, I was doing fitness content, apparel content, and then, that ballparked into doing it more. I came on as like the creative directors, the title that this clothing company out of Murfreesboro gave me. And I took it, and I was working with them for almost 2 years. And that just grew from photography more into videography. So
continue.
No, yeah. So that grew into more videography stuff. And I just really, at that point, I started loving video more than photo. And so I kind of just went on to YouTube University, started teaching myself some things, just getting into practicing with Adobe softwares. And, I didn't really want to dive into a lot of the, technical parts of it just yet, just because I was so new. And then as work continued to flow in, I started getting, people wanted to go with me, book me for whatever. I started getting more acclimated with Premiere, and then slowly did a little bit of After Effects, as scary as it was whenever I first started it. But, just started from photography to round this back around. Photography, slowly worked into videography, and that was me. So,
That's dope. Yeah, it's smart because if you're like freelancing, you're only doing photos, you could totally do video, and it's more money, obviously, having both skills, but then you're also just more diversified where you can take on different jobs and be more valuable to different clients, which is good. And then even coming into something like this, like if you didn't know video, who knows if you would have got through the first round, because we were looking for both, you know what I mean? So it's like super, super important, which is awesome. When you first applied, were you working another job yet, or were you just doing freelance full time?
No, I was full time with another job, and then I was doing freelance work, more part time at that point.
Okay.
So I was, working a 9 to 5 and that was a steady income. And
where were you working at? We can cut out the podcast. I just want to know.
No, you're good. Yeah, it was a tile factory in Clarksville.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So yeah, that was going on for a little while, and that's when I started picking up the freelance work.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, and I started a little freelance work before that as well, but it wasn't really ramping up until a little after I was working at the factory.
So were you sitting there? And you're like, I want to do this because you put your resume out in Indeed. Were you thinking to yourself I want to work at a creative company or something and do creative stuff full time? Or what was your mindset like going into before we got your resume?
Yeah. So whenever I built my resume and put it on Indeed, I think I put it also on another job website, or job app. But I wanted to find a creative. Yeah, I just wanted to find a creative company, a team to work with, not only to help myself grow, but try and help them grow, help them achieve new goals. And that's always something I've been about, is growth. And so back when, I knew, hey, I want to do this. This is fun. I love doing this. But also, I don't want to be stuck in this where I was currently at anymore. I did not like it. It just wasn't me. And, it's that kind of job that if you don't push yourself to get out of, and I'm talking about the factory, the Clarksville job. If you don't push yourself to get out of it, you're going to be stuck there for a while. Many people were like that, are still there. And, and those are good people, but that wasn't me. And so I wanted to do creative work full time. I built my resume, built just my portfolio up as best as I could. And, I just put it on Indeed and I think the other job app, and thankfully that Tyler found my application, and this is what it was what I was looking for. And it was funny because before that job posting actually came out, I think it was the same weekend or weekend before, I was shooting some photos for Carbon here in Nashville before they opened up the Nations, and Cross was there working. And he said, "Hey,
I know that."
He said, "Hey, would you be interested at some point joining a team?" And I was like, "If the situation is right, absolutely." He mentioned Brotherdale.
Yeah.
And then again, I don't remember, it was the same weekend or the weekend before or whatever, but it was very close. I saw the application or the job posting on Indeed, so I was like, I'm applying for this right away. And so I applied for it, and I think it was a month that had went by before I heard anything back from Tyler. But I took a point, like, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna go make it happen. And I did not delay any response whatsoever to any message that Tyler sent. I think I replied to every email he sent or message on Indeed within a minute of him sending it, which awesome. Might be a little weird to some people to reply that back.
That's perfect.
I thought it was great. And what's crazy is we didn't even have the job opening open very long, because we were getting tons of people putting in. Obviously, it was our first time actually going through Indeed and doing that process, because before it's either been friends or people we've known or Instagram or whatever. And so I remember it only being up for a short amount of time. So it's crazy that that timing lined up where you were on there, but then Cross mentioned that and everything, which is really cool, because we just basically let a bunch of people apply. Tyler created it all, and then Tyler's okay, it's time for me to go break it down. So he went through, and I think it was a couple of weeks later, he finally went through the whole list, and then we narrowed it down. So that's really cool. Yeah. And I know that I remember the second round meeting, obviously you were on there, but he just the way he spoke about the mission and talking about creative, I'm he definitely has something in him that's this is a good sign, he is already at the top of the list, because it's just hard to find people that why they like to be creative, or what's the reason, or some people it's I just want to make a ton of money, which is great, we all want to make money, but I'm talking the influencers, I just want to make content and then become famous on YouTube, which is great, go ahead. The kids last night, it was crazy because they were they were kind of getting asked on how we started, because they were looking at our social media, and they're what was the point you guys blew up? And I was honestly, there's no point we've blown up. There's no one single thing. We can look back on points that were wow, these are pivotal, these really helped us grow, but it took years of hard work and all the years beforehand of just trying to learn on your own and everything, right? And so, but then they were okay, so you didn't just blow up overnight. It's not a one night thing. I'm no, that is not how it happened. You might be able to do that on TikTok and blow up with a viral video, and then you're known as this person, but we're not a flash in the pan. We're building something that's big. Like we have real people. We have it's like they're younger, so they don't really grasp it. They're in like young freshmen,
Like 16,
whatever.
17,
I know they're young, which is funny because it was his birthday today, but we were talking about it last night. I'm like, how far away does 28 feel to you guys? They're like, wow, that feels so
like
far
10
away.
years.
Because to some of the even younger kids, it's like double their age. So it's like double the amount of life they gotta live.
Yep.
Actually, that's so true. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
What
which
the
is
heck?
funny.
I remember being their age, and I never thought, what was I going to do at 28 years old?
Yeah, I know,
had
right?
No clue.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But-
But no, those kids are funny. And they were like, I want to see the car. I wanna see the car." It's crazy. Like the kids nowadays, they're not smarter than we were, but they're like very more in tune with like pop culture and like
It's crazy,
what's
bro.
happening in the world. And they're like he knew the exact model of the car. He knew he's like, are you guys verified? Like going through all these things. I'm like this is actually nuts. Like the brands you're working with, they're like, oh, we know them. Like, dude, when I was 16, I didn't know anything about that, bro.
No.
I was
Well,
chilling
it was
in
also-
Illinois.
Back when you and I were 16,
Yeah.
'cause, Instagram, Reels weren't a thing.
No.
TikTok wasn't a thing.
Instagram came out my freshman or 8th grade year.
Yep.
So you would have 1 year ahead of me
Yep.
because the birthday thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't even close to what it is
No,
now.
and before before Instagram even included any kind of video format, it was just photos only, and then eventually the Instagram TV,
Yep.
and then TikTok was.
I was telling this to Autumn the other day. She was like, she's 4 years younger than I am, somewhere in there, pretty close to that. And like Snapchat, like, I'll use Snapchat for like group
Oh my
stuff,
gosh,
right?
bro.
And it's like it's
I
not
don't-
weird
I
to
don't
me.
even
I'm just
log
like
on anymore.
whatever. Like I'll send like a random snap to like all the boys and whatnot. And then she's like, she thinks it's like super weird because she grew up with Snapchat, and it was like more of like the kind of the player app, like
Yep.
you're snapping girl, whatever, all that stuff. I'm like, no, I didn't really grow up with Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like we had it when we went to college almost. Like my last memory on my Snapchat is like literally freshman year going to college. I'm like, it's so interesting because these people, the younger kids, Autumn was born, she's not even that young, but she was born in 2000. Which is wild.
Yep.
So it's like not even the 1990s anymore.
Yeah, my wife's a 2000s baby, and she
Yeah.
still uses Snapchat, but the only thing that I do on Snapchat is literally Snapchat her once a day.
Yeah.
Because we have like a streak going. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. You still
But-
streak?
No, I stopped caring about
Him and
streaks.
Colton had like a how many day streak?
1,600,
Wow.
1,700 days.
And that's pretty impressive.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I at some point I'm just like, dude, I'm not. We lost it or something. I was like, I'm not getting on
Yeah.
here and caring about this streak anymore. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like video games. Like it's fun to play, but I don't care about my levels or any of that crap anymore. It's just like, I don't know, level up in the real world.
Yeah. Buy a
I
house.
sort of, yeah. Because I used to play video games way too much. It was definitely an addiction at one point. It was just
Yeah, you
like
did.
took away from the real world.
We actually played. Fun fact. Back was that 2021 or 22? Whenever we had that. When did Warzone drop? When did it come out?
That was one of I think that was like 2017, 2018, around
Yeah.
that time.
But it was
I
like
remember
when it
during
got
COVID,
really
it was
hot.
like,
Yeah.
I remember during COVID, we played it a ton.
We were like building the company. It was like 4 of us.
Yeah.
And we played Warzone like so much, and then
Yeah.
it came to a point where like we don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
literally can't play
Well,
anymore.
we would play some during the day, but it was mainly we'd work all day, and then at night we would just rip it like as long as we could until we got tired. And then the next day,
or
just
somebody
work.
called us like, get off of the game.
Because back then we
Really
could catch up on work. It felt like
good.
I used to be all like staying up all night just playing video games. I was one of those kids that would stay up till like 3 a.m. even during high school just playing video games, and then I grew out of it. I think I went through a phase where I think I haven't touched a video game probably in almost 2 years now.
yeah.
So I
haven't
think
really
it's-
played that much either.
Yeah, but I mean,
I want to have a night where we just like, who cares how late it is? I'm
Yeah.
not going to bed till I'm just exhausted. Like
we should
I
do a
just want
boys'
to stay
night,
up
dude.
on like a Friday night.
Like at Christmas time or something.
yeah. Every now and then I just get the urge just to get on for like an hour or two, but also, I just haven't. When I was younger, I had a lot of friends who I'd play with, and now, growing up, your friends count kind of get smaller depending on who you are. But I just grew out of that phase, and being around the guys here,
Yeah.
new Black Ops came out, everybody's ripping it and whatnot. I'd love to hop on for a little bit, see if I'm still any good. But
Yeah, there's time for
Yeah.
those kind of things. Just like, being smarter about it. So going back, so when you talked to Cross, which is why I didn't even know that story actually,
Yeah.
but that's so cool. Did you like look up our stuff and like see what the company was, or what was the first time you saw us whenever you applied for the job, or how'd that process go where you were kind of checking out?
So
you know,
I
the
remember
vibe?
looking on the Brotherdale Instagram when Cross mentioned it right then and there, and then later that night, just kind of reviewing the stuff and being like, would I even be, is my work right now even capable of potentially being as good as what these guys are doing, And so I just wanted to check out y'all's page, see what's on there, see if it's something that would be something that I could do. And I was thoroughly impressed not only with the content on there, but just the level of clients that y'all were working with, and then the hustle that I could tell that everybody that was part of this company was doing to achieve the goals that they needed to achieve. And I wanted to be a part of it. And, I made sure that I felt very confident in the work that I was doing now could, still get better, still is getting better, but could also, levy my way into, working with you guys, working with this family and this group of people. And, I'm grateful that from where I was, where I needed to be at that specific time to join this company. So, I think at that time, to round it back, looking at the page, I was very impressed. So, and I loved it. So everything.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear, bro. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we just got blessed with some good hires, essentially.
I thought you were gonna say genetics.
No. I'm saying like hire, like we obviously didn't know you,
Yeah.
so you kind of just found us essentially. But like that's a huge blessing. That's the hardest part of business so far, is being able to find like the guys that are, gonna fit here essentially. Because
especially if you have to go through a whole pool of applicants on Indeed, and then that's a whole another
because
level.
you're going through it, and then you don't know,
You don't know who they're like in person.
Yeah, you have no idea.
And all that stuff, right?
And now, like, the culture is so, like, if you're not the right guy, you're not going to fit here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to explain unless you're here, so you probably understand it now, but it's like, if you're not the right guy, it's going to be super interesting, because there's like some normal days where, like, it's not extremely crazy, and there's some days where we're shooting until whatever time.
Yeah.
Like last night, 9 p.m.
Yeah. Or traveling randomly.
I got a question. So the way we like said, hey, here's Brotherdale, here's how it works. Like sometimes it's hectic, sometimes you're just in the studio all day. Most of the time, like you're in the studio, but then we got like these days where we got to stay up or travel, or like, hey, like the team, like this is our culture. Do you feel like we set the vision of like Brotherdale, or like the presidents of like, here's Brotherdale? What did we miss, or what did we like? Maybe I just want like an open, like, how
was it for you?
How was like, here's Brotherdale, because you didn't get to meet it before you got hired. You just like showed up.
And this is not like, tell us about it. Like, this is
I want like the actual answer,
because this is like, you're the first person that's like a totally, like, you're kind of a third person view of this,
as far as a creative.
Yeah,
him and Mandy, obviously, but
because we didn't know you before, and this is like, you're coming into the whole thing, you're seeing everything from a fresh pair of eyes. So that's why we're asking these questions.
Well, I mean, whenever I was coming in first, I didn't do like a huge deep dive into who all worked for Brotherdale. I just knew of the company, and I knew when I was looking at it, I looked you up, and I looked Hunter up, and it's actually kind of harder to find Hunter than it was Marcus.
Really?
What's up?
Just a little bit.
I post a lot. What's up?
I wonder why.
I mean,
verified.
It was weird. I did it the completely incorrect way, because I didn't go into who Brotherdale was following. I just
you do
searched
for
it
it,
up.
don't you? Yeah, you do. He pays for verification.
I do
But-
not.
I know he does.
He's verified.
I'm verified.
I saw that credit card statement.
That's Zach.
Huh?
That's Zach.
Sorry, I'm.
No,
credit card statement?
You wink? Yeah.
When?
Autumn showed me.
No, she did not.
She did.
Actually?
Yeah, you pay for verification.
I don't pay for
bro.
verification. I was like, wait, what's it?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But
I know.
getting flustered over here.
I have the receipts of Zach's email. I'll send it over.
I'm gonna pay for the sub.
No, he sent me I'll tell you a different story. It's a different story, but continue.
I'll pay for the verification. No, I'm kidding.
Good.
No, so apart from looking up, the company, whenever I came in the first day, I didn't set an expectation. I don't try to set expectations unless, honestly, no, I try not to set an expectation, because when I feel like I set an expectation for a company or something that I'm going into blindly, I'm going to either get let down or feel like I'm not enough or doing good enough. So I went in very blindly, here's what I'm going to walk into, and this is the team, the family, the company that I'm growing. So I need to make sure that, this fits me well, because in this process, it's not only that y'all are interviewing me, but in a sense I'm interviewing the company as well to make sure it's going to be a great fit for my growth and my 100%. Future. And that is walking in day one, meeting everyone here. I met a few people later after, like Michael. I think I met him some days later, and then I still haven't talked to Tyler in person.
Yeah,
so
it was kind of weird timing.
Into the office. Yeah,
he had surgery and all this stuff.
Absolutely, but I loved everybody. I felt like I meshed well with everyone. I kind of just plugged myself right in because, like you said, or if you don't, you can bring someone in, but if they don't fit well with your culture in the office, it's probably not going to work out. I mean, they might do great, but like you can have someone who supports something that you don't support, and it's just not going to do very well. Like as far as in the office, tensions could get high at any point. So I mean, I feel like I just immediately was a part of Brotherdale, and and again, I think that's a huge part of me not just setting an expectation of what am I walking into, So from what was put on piece of paper, what I read, what y'all presented yourselves as, whenever I signed the offer letter and was talking with you guys in the interviews, and then seeing it on day one and just going through everything, it was, to me, exactly what I was, told that it was going to be. And so from there, I just walked in and, pretty much made new experiences from day one. So
that's so cool. That's the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's surreal for us, for sure. It's like, it's so interesting. Yeah. Because I always remember back, you know what I mean? So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah. I mean, I feel blessed to be here. I'm a huge man of faith, and hopefully that's okay to talk about here.
100%, bro.
Always.
That's the only reason we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But I'm a huge man of faith, and I, in the interview process, I was actually, when I got the email from Tyler, I was at the Belonging Co., which is a church here in Nashville. I was at a conference that was going on, and the pastor who was speaking at the time was talking about how we need to incorporate prayer more into our lives, and the Lord is listening to every single prayer that you're praying. And so this job was one of those high up on my list prayers that I was talking with the Lord about every single day. And as he was going over that in his conference speech, I received that email from Tyler saying, "Hey, we would love to extend this offer letter to you."
Goosebumps, bro. That's crazy.
And I, immediately I broke. I don't get emotional much as far as like tears or anything like that, but I immediately broke down. I just thanked the Lord, because it was not only did y'all believe enough in me, but He answered my prayers. I would not be here in this chair if it was not for Him. And I owe it all to Him. And so every day I feel blessed, not only because of you guys and letting me be here and grow and help y'all grow, but also because He opened the door and I just walked through it. And that's a big part of myself as well, and a huge reason why I'm here. I try not to set the expectation, because He's going to make it the Lord's going to make it happen no matter what.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
Wow.
So that's insane. That's crazy.
So you literally, when he was going over that like sermon or whatever, you got the email during.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane. I wonder. Never mind. Actually, I'm going to cut that out. I have a funny joke, but I'm not going to say it. We're not live. It doesn't really matter. But that's insane, bro. That's so freaking cool. Yeah. So what's like your favorite part so far? You've been here for a little over. How many months has it been? It's been almost 2 months, right?
We're going. So I started on September 30th. So November 30th will be 2 months.
Yeah, so almost 2 months.
We're halfway into 2 months.
Yeah.
You asked me what's my favorite part,
I feel like you've done quite a bit so far.
I feel like, other than, travel for like travel podcasting, but honestly, there's not, I say everything is my favorite, because I love all the process that go into it, from the learning to the doing to the shooting, all of it. So I mean, I love to sit and edit. I love the days where I have to sit there and crank out edits or work on something or get it done. But I also love the days that we're traveling, like we just shot a TV show. I love being out there all day and just being with the guys and filming and just being behind a camera. And then, you know, there are days where we kind of mix both in there, and, you know, that's fun too. And then recently I just got to model, which was something that I've never really done before. So, I mean, that was fun too. So, but I don't have a head-on favorite. Like, I don't prefer one thing over the other. I mean, I would just, I mean, completely honestly, I love it all. And, you know, the group of people who's surrounding me and I'm surrounded by, and, you know, make it really easy as well.
He's PR trained.
No, bro.
I think it's genuine. That's why I love it.
No, it's incredible because like literally that's how I feel. Like I love it all, and you get to go to work with people that are, you know, your friends, but like family, and like you get to work with them on projects and like obviously make money and get experiences and all this stuff. And it's a blast, dude. It's a blast because the hard work is hard work. Everybody has to do hard work, so that's what it is.
Choose your hard. Huh? Choose your hard.
Yeah, choose your hard. Yeah. That's what it is. But you get to wake up and come to a studio and hang out with the boys and make content and get better at something. And it's literally the dream.
Yep.
And if you put it in that perspective, it's like there's a lot of people in the world that aren't able to do that or never took the chance to do it. And it's like when you think of it that way, when you're tired or you're going on a long trip or you get back late, think of it that way. It's like, oh, it's not as bad anymore. You know?
I came from a job where I sat in a desk from 9 to 5 and I answered phone calls and I managed accounts, and it was, you know, I thought that was what work life was. You know, I didn't think that I was going to be this photography, videography, mainly now video, has always been a dream of mine to do. You know, I loved my freelance work, and now, you know, I was getting married at the time. I was engaged, and I was, you know, planning on having starting a family one day, and with having children. And, you know, I want to provide for my family. I want to be that breadwinner, but also I'm doing what I love to do. You know, not many people can say that they're making money, providing for their family, growing, and challenging themselves to get better while also working, doing exactly what they love to do. And I'm doing that. And at 28 years old, you know, I'm very blessed. You know, I'm making it happen.
How many years did you say you have been doing photo video?
Probably around, at this point, like 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years.
Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And what's cool is, I don't know how much you want to share about it, but we got to meet your wife.
Yep.
She's incredible. And she also is creative, which I think is unique because I'm thinking of everyone else in the studio. There's not one person in the studio besides you who their significant other creates just as much. Like, that's their full-time thing. So I think that's really unique. The guy that came in today, his wife actually does. We just learned. She's been doing it for a long time. But as far as like right now on the Brother Dale team, you're the only guy, and I think that's cool. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. And she probably, she relates to it. She gets it. Like, and then I'm just curious, like when you come home, you know, you've talked about it a little bit, like challenging each other. They even did like an editing challenge on their own wedding photos.
You told me about that.
We edited our wedding. We gave our photographer. We had our photographer. And you know, when it comes to photos, like photography, you normally don't want to give out your raw images to any client. So the photographer let us
take the raws.
Let us take the raws and edit them ourselves. And she edits her own way, and I edit my own way. And that's kind of, you know, being married to someone else who's creative. That's the kind of thing that kind of stands us apart. Is her editing style for photo, but also video is much different than mine. And you know, we wanted to have a little competition on, you know, who likes my photos better or her photos better without knowing whose photos were who. And we actually did not post that on our stories, but we did post, like, you know, our actual posts on social media about, like, my photos were my photos, hers were hers. And, you know, we don't, you know, you don't like to sit there and count numbers as far as like likes and goes, but everybody counts their own likes. Everybody looks at those sometimes and says, hey.
So who won?
Yeah. So
I bet did she win just because I feel like more people interacted with her posts?
Yeah.
Like girls always
normally women do
stuff
get,
like that.
Yeah. Normally women do get more interactions on their page. And plus she has, I think, triple the amount of followers that I do.
Yeah.
So,
but I wonder what the percentile, what the percentage.
Yeah, we can cut down the percentage
and
see who actually won.
Yeah.
What we should do is he should bring their photos in, not tell us, and we all pick. And then have her there.
And I'll go like his photos.
Yeah. We'll do the election. Yeah. The photo election, and then put up the numbers.
That's a good idea.
Probably something.
And we get more electoral votes because we're, you know, seniority.
Yeah, exactly. What if I get like one? Okay. Probably, where'd your camera go, bro? He doesn't have a camera or a mic.
He's over here behind the camera. He's picking his nose and.
Yeah, he is. Talk to Edwin. Sweet. Cool.
But he's grinding.
But he's grinding in the background.
No, that's cool. I just thought it was a cool aspect. I think it's unique.
Yeah.
I think that, a lot of people, I don't know a lot of people where they do the exact same profession. It's just unique. I thought that was cool, especially in the creative space. But the fact that you guys can bounce back and forth at home and like, see things through her own lens, but yours, but then still in the same field is really cool. Yeah. But yeah, it was nice meeting her. That was awesome.
Yeah, she loved meeting y'all. Got everyone that she was able to meet here when they were in the office.
Yeah, and then she'll get to be at the Christmas party.
Yeah,
so.
I think she will be. She, I'm very for certain. She's the marketing manager for Gold's Gym, so I know she's doing a Christmas party at some point in December as well. But yeah, she'll definitely be there for hours, and she loved meeting the team as well. So. But yeah, it's back to what you were saying about, having someone or knowing people that do the same stuff, especially being married to a woman who is doing the same thing in a way that we are, it's also very different. Like I look at all the stuff that we do and look at the things that she does, and I try not to compare, because we're all in our own little realm of, how different we are compared to what they're doing over at Gold's. But,
But we're better. No, I'm just kidding.
But, I mean, it's so cool.
She's gonna hate me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's so cool to see how different people are when it comes to their creative minds,
Yeah.
And how different she is than I am with creativeness. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. What would you say to like the people that? And this was actually a question I asked the kid earlier today.
Yeah.
Because this is a question I'm going to ask everybody that we hire from now on, hands down, no matter what. Yeah. And if the answer is no, then it's probably going to be a no, because that's like the.
You just give him the answer.
Huh? Well, no. I just want him to say it to. I just want to get his opinion on it. Yeah. But. Like creative wise, like if somebody's trying to go into the creative field, that's what they want to do. How important do you think it is to like basically make your decision and like that's what you're gonna do? Because some people are on the fence, like I'll just dabble in it a little bit and see what happens, and then a lot of them end up kind of petering out because it's challenging to like go full time and like dedicate yourself to something that doesn't seem real, even though it's a huge industry. Yeah. But people sometimes don't think it's a real career choice, I guess. But I asked the guy earlier, I was like, so is this what you want to do 100%? Like you want to do creative, you want to do this full time? He's like, yeah, I'm like dedicated. I want to do this. This is what I'm going to do for sure. And that was what I wanted to hear, because that's what it takes to be able to be successful in this kind of stuff. And, go through all the challenges and learning and all that stuff. So what would you say to somebody that like wants to do that, but they're, still part-time, or they're dabbling in it a little bit, or they're, maybe they're doubting their own skills. What's your opinion on that?
And I said this earlier, I think, if you want to make it happen, if this is what you want to do, you're going to make it happen. If you want to dive full in and be a creative full time for the, and that's, for a fact, that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, jump right in, go for it. Don't, do what you need to do to grow, learn, whatever you want, whatever you have to do. And if you're not for certain on it, then keep up at it. Keep doing it. Do it small, small freelance work, small projects, whatever you want to do. But I think, you still have time to grow. You still have time to, like, don't go out there and go to college for 4 years if you don't know what you're going to go to college for. Mm-hmm. You're going to waste time. You're going to waste not only your time, but someone else's time. Mm-hmm. And time is one of the most valuable things out there. That's how things are built, so is over time. And so you don't want to waste your money, your time in doing something that you don't even know you want to do. Mm-hmm. So if this is what you want to do full time for as long as you possibly can, dive head on in, don't turn back, and just, grow, learn, get better, and surround yourself with people who are in that same mindset and who you can learn from. So
I love that. That's incredible. Because I was pulled up to the gas station the other night, and there was some kids shooting a music video out there. So I was chatting with them a little bit, asked them what camera they were using. No, I didn't flex at all, actually. And they looked up our stuff, obviously, but at first they were like, do you do video work? And I was like, I dabble a little bit, asking about his camera. And then, no, that's why, hey, listen, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but Well, I do, but I didn't know it was an RS5. No, but I was chatting with him, and then obviously they were talking, about Brother Dale and all that stuff. And he was like, "Yeah, my parents keep telling me to go to film school to do video work." And I'm like, "Well, you're already doing freelance right now. You're shooting a music video right now. Like you're doing the thing. You just got to be consistent with it. Keep going, going." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." So I keep telling him, like, I can't really learn what I want to do in film school because they haven't really done it. Like this is like, you can learn everything like online. You can learn it on YouTube. You can learn it through people, networking, all this stuff. I was like, "Yeah, bro, you just focus in on what you want to do." And there's like so many distractions and there's like the right way to do it. Go to film school, and parents will always say that to their kids in this industry. There's places for college, there's places for trade school, all that stuff. But this industry is like, are you a self-motivated person to go out and learn and like be competitive in the field and all of those things? Then you're going to be fine. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, well, I think like the younger generation they're learning that a lot more. I feel like they're way more educated in that stuff. But again, a lot of parents or people that have influence over somebody will tell them just to, go get your degree, go to film school and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's like,
you got to be self-motivated, but you have to understand that you're self-motivated. Like you have to be that, but you also have to understand that you are. And that goes for the people who want to own their own business, but sometimes it's just for in the business, when you're working in the business, to level up, to get in the leadership role. I would say, I mean, this isn't necessarily always true, but for most scenarios, people are like, it's not safe to do this and safe to do that. It's probably more safe and easier for you to level up your life, like your income and your lifestyle and like your stuff over time within a company that has a good trajectory than trying to go do it yourself, because the owners are the ones that have all the stress of like the learnings and like, we have to up here, we didn't do this right, or the stress that keeps you up at night, where like the stress that comes with going from entry-level role to then leveling up, it's like, okay, how do I get better? And then as we grow, how do I become a leader to be over those people? So you're constantly kind of just looking at, okay, how am I being led right now? How can I do that better when I'm in that position? And how do you get there? And you can level up. And so with that being said, whether you're going to work for a company or you're trying to do it yourself and freelance or whatever, you just have to know that you're a self-motivated person in and outside of the workplace or the client space if you're doing your own stuff. And I just think that goes a long way. And it goes in sports. It goes like Kobe Bryant is a dog. Like when he talked about how like they lost one of the playoff games, and it was like they lost, like they weren't going to win because they lost, and they were interviewing him, and he was talking about how like the next season starts right now. Like I'm going to be practicing probably. I mean, he probably went and freaking practiced like that night, but he like he's like, they're like, what are you going to do next year to like train and get better? Like, how are you going to do that as you're getting older? I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, I'm going to train until exhaustion. He's like, I'm going to go until I physically can't anymore.
And it's not guaranteed that it'll pay off.
Yeah, it's not nothing's guaranteed.
That's the whole thing. It's like the risk. Yeah, it's scary to start your own business, but it's also scary to be in a company and you're trying to level up, because that extra effort might not, equal, a higher spot in the company or more leadership role, whatever it is, but it probably will. You know what I'm saying? Like the risk is there, and you should take it. And I feel like risk and being unsafe with whatever you're doing, like in career or whatever, it's always worth it, bro. Because have you ever heard of a person who's massively successful in whatever role? If it's an entrepreneur, celebrity, anybody who didn't take a risk? There's not one person. Yep. There's not one, dude, in the history of forever. Yep. There's not one. If you want to be great, if you want to be remembered, if you want your name to be remembered, if you want all of these things, it takes some level of risk. It might be a massive risk, it might be, a little bit simpler, but it's definitely risk, and it takes extra effort and all these things. And if you don't do it, it's a guarantee you're not going to ever make it. Yeah. If you do it, there's always a chance it's going to happen. You know?
And God challenges you. He makes it hard on purpose, because you will not know you just won't be able to achieve things without that burden, without going through something to come out on the other side. Because there could be 100 people that go chase something and they're all working hard, but there's only going to be like one person that ends up making it out of 100. But if all 100 ended up getting the prize, it wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't be worth the sacrifice, because everyone just got the same thing. Yeah. So it's just that it's the process that you go through of the struggles, the tiredness, the learning. Sometimes it's not even like, it doesn't need to be that deep. That's what I think some people need to realize. It doesn't need to be that deep of like, just, I'm talking like relentless every night, stay up all night. But it's whenever you get hit with, no, it's true.
No,
it's
right,
whenever clients hit you back with revisions on edit. And it's just like, it just sucks. Like, it's just, you put all that time in and then it's like, I have all these revisions. And sometimes it's not even up to, maybe it was your creativeness just wasn't your best that one. Or maybe the person who filmed it, you just weren't handed the good cards to make the right hand, the best hand, you know? Like when you're playing a card game, you get dealt a hand and you got to try to play the best hand, where sometimes you just dealt a shitty hand and you might be dealt shitty footage. I mean, it's not really happening here anymore, but I'm saying in our early stages, you film stuff shitty sometimes and you just have to turn it into something, and you maybe have to go reshoot it. We learn those lessons, but it's when you do that and you do it again and you learn and you do it again. And then when new people come on, we know already, like, hey, we can't do that. Like, I can see that that's about to happen. Let's not do that because we've learned before. And unless you have someone who's literally sitting on your shoulder telling you those things, no matter if you read any book or whatever, you just have to go through it and learn it yourself. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100% agree.
Experience is the number one thing. And, that's a big thing that I found out, especially even in, you can go through all the college that you want to. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to get better at what you're doing until you get hands-on and just do it. So, I mean, you just jump in.
That's when you learn.
In the pool. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to learn through experience. Like experience or learning something, like the theory of something is completely different than the actual thing. There's so many more variables. There's so many different ways you can respond to somebody. If you're a marketing major coming out of college and you're into a meeting over marketing with whatever client, you would know all the theories for it, but you don't know how John's gonna respond with some witty response, and then you just haven't had that experience. You don't know what to say back to him, right? So you learn that through experience and trial and error and getting roasted by clients when we're in Costa Rica, and remember that losing a client in Costa Rica?
Gosh, but see, then it was a big deal. But now it's
but now you kind of forget about it.
Wait, what was?
But
that?
it was like detrimental to us at the time.
What was that?
It was that.
You don't have to say that. Oh yeah.
But like those kind of things, are just things you experience and losing and then wanting to win back. And I think it does a huge part of it. And I think a big thing about people that are successful in any portion of like their role in a company, or they started a company or whatever it is, I think it's competitiveness too. It's something like, I don't want to lose to whoever you're not really competing with anybody really, but you are, and it might just be yourself, right? But you don't want to lose constantly. And then when it gets hard, it's the separation from the person that's behind you, So like, this is really, really hard, but I know this person behind me might want to go through it, but the person behind him probably won't. And now we're down to like 2 people, you know what I mean? So it's like, the harder it is, the better separation it is, and then the better story it is after you win. Yep. Because if it's not hard, what's the story like? Yeah. And I think that's the best part. Being competitive. Are you competitive, you think?
I'm very competitive. Yeah. I grew up with another brother, and then as I grew up, my family continued to grow as siblings go, and I'm the oldest, and you don't like to lose. Is it necessary? Absolutely. Yeah. It is necessary to lose because that's how you learn. But you don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. I like to try and be the best that I can absolutely be. So when I say I'm competitive, I'm very competitive towards myself, but also towards others. Like if I see someone who does a better edit than me, sure, it was much better than mine, but it makes me want to get better. It makes me want to match it or just do something insanely much different or better than theirs. So
100%. Yeah. I think healthy competitiveness too in the workplace is very good. I think it drives a company. I feel like companies that aren't competitive are just like, they just stay stagnant. Like you got to be competitive at some sort of thing. Like obviously you don't want to like be a sore loser or whatever, but I think it's very, very important to hate to lose and love to win. Love to win is the best
I know
thing.
There are times where I sit there and, I see someone who did an edit for, especially I know since I've been here, someone submitted an edit for something and I looked it over and I was like, this is insanely good. And I literally downloaded it on my phone and broke it down frame by frame. And it was like almost a minute long edit. And just to see how they did something. And, and that's the kind of steps it takes just to get better is you want to watch it, learn it, break it down frame by frame if you have to, just to see if you can push yourself to get to that
It's the details, baby. It's the details.
Yeah.
100%.
So.
Well, he's got to be somewhere soon.
Yes.
So we got to ask our final question, which is his birthday, so he's probably going to go too.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit.
So it's called the Simply Winning Podcast. If you watch any of these, you know at the end we ask, how would you describe Simply Winning?
Simply winning is
in your own life, you know.
In my own life.
Yeah, it's personal to you. Everybody has their different answers.
I have the Lord on my side. Everything that I do that I'm blessed with is because of the doors that he's opened for me. And so as long as I have my faith in him, I'm going to be winning no matter what it is. You know, I will fall along the way. I'll learn along the way, but it's going to lead to something bigger, and it's going to lead to something that I can grow in and be a part of that growth. So in terms of winning in my life, being here is winning. Helping this company grow is winning. Starting a family with my wife is winning. Getting married was a win for me as well. So meeting her was a win. All of that stuff are different types of winning scenarios in my life, and, you know, having it all kind of come together. And where I'm at right now, again, I'm very blessed, but I am, in my eyes, very much winning. And I don't like to get comfortable, but, you know, because I like to grow. I like to challenge, and growth is not comfortable. So yeah, I'm, you know, want to continue to get better here. I want to continue to grow here. So that's the next goal of mine that I'm going to win at, and I will win at it. And as far as with my wife and future children, to grow and to accomplish those goals as well, I will win at that as well. So
let's go.
That was good.
That was awesome.
Shoot.
I love that.
Yeah, man. Well, again, like, we appreciate that you're on the team, and I think you have like all the things that I want to see in somebody that came on the team. Was hard work, wanting to obviously get better, learn, and then, you know, just not be afraid to keep going, go to the next level.
Yeah.
That's what exactly, if you want to work for Brother Dale, it's what you have to have.
Yeah.
100%.
I love your answer. Because Julie and I, we pray over people that are coming on, and it's like, you just pray that it works out, that it's not only good for us, but it's good for them. Like, because if this isn't a workplace, I don't like to call it even a workplace. It is, but it's like, if Brother Dale's not the right team for these people, that they find out quickly, because it's not good for them, it's not good for us. And we want it to be a win across the board, just how you described it. It's just good to hear. Yeah. For sure.
No, totally. And again, like, people that are on the team, you don't got to be the most talented person. You don't got to be some genius, whatever. You just have to have the willingness to work, want to learn, and then also like the loyalty
and the grit
for the team. Like, that's the number one thing. If you're loyal to the team, bro, we can do everything else. We can make you better at video. We can make you better creative. All of those things. But the core values, you either have it or you just don't have it.
Brother Dale to the moon, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right, thank y'all for checking out episode 21, season 2. Tyler Wright. It was an awesome podcast going over his journey, his life, his wife, his faith, fitness, why he likes creating, and obviously being on the Brother Dale team, and giving him the proper intro that he deserves. So
yes, sir.
We'll take a photo now, and we'll get this podcast out whenever Riley gets it done.
Round of applause for Riley. Woo, Riley.
Good job, Riley.
Yeah.
Has he been on the podcast?
Riley.
Yeah, we've done to talk together. We did an update. You were on there.
Were you in the podcast?
All three of us, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were.
On the Where We've Been, like, update.
Yeah, but we haven't done a podcast with Riley yet. I want to do a podcast with Riley.
I thought that was the podcast. No,
he has some.
Dive into
he has some details. I want to dive into Riley.
Oh gosh,
pick his brain apart.
Oh. Me and Riley had a long combo around the campfire before he got hired.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll dive into that. It's a different story, but let's go.
That's for the other podcast.
Peace.